Welcome to Black Soul's Poetry, Musical, and Podcast. We are here today, live. It's a beautiful setup today that we have. The interesting thing about today's setup is that we are at Tshigubu Online Radio, the biggest radio station online out of Limpopo. We are hosted by HB Zwino, the man behind the magic of Tshigubu Online. I go by the name of Ising. And I've got two gentlemen here. We're about to indulge in an interesting conversation. I look forward to that. I'm excited. To my left, sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well today, and my name is Mutseki, as is known is the level legend, who's going to share some insight with this beautiful gentleman I have around, and I'm honored to be here, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And sir,
Bonjour. To be invited into Provoking Thoughts, Black Souls. Let's have this conversation, guys.
It's been a minute. Let's have
this conversation.
So, it's been a while. I've been following the page a lot, and only the episodes are already uploaded in the past few weeks, which is a lot. Apart from that, how have you been, or what have you been doing, including exceeding these past episodes that I've been? How have you been?
I'm in a space where I transform from who I was to who I should be. If you understand.
I do.
Yeah, so I mean, and at the transition period to my will, I'm transitioning from who I was to who I should be. So recently, with that said, you have to check the balance of where my mindset is at. So, there are some things that I'm outgrowing, and there are some things that I'm still challenging in. So, with these previous episodes that are out, which were recorded some time a while ago, so there's been like a space of like 3 months. So, this 3 months is a period made of now. I'm trying to channel energy inside of me, and so if you can check the previous ones, you're gonna see a little bit, or you're gonna be able to notice differences that have been happening me personally in terms of that transformation. So, but I'm happy with the content that is out, and happy that whoever has been supportive. We would like to say thank you. We appreciate you. We see what you're doing, guys, and that has been lovely. So I'm outgrowing certain things, and I'm learning certain things. That's moment. So that's been that period.
Yeah. Thanks. Me interjecting there.
Yeah.
I think the question goes to both of you.
Yes,
you are the guys who started Black Souls.
Yeah.
You traveled because of Black Souls, guys. You've been to Toa, you've been to Butabelo, Taban, you've been to Bloemfontein. We are in Josie right now. So I want to understand, what have you gained as an individual from the travels that you had, the interaction you have with great people, Botlogs and everyone that you had? You interviewed a lot of people. You interviewed older people, you interviewed younger people, and everything and everyone in between. So what I want to understand, Corey, let me start with you, Mr. Isi. What have you, as the topic of today is losing everything and gaining yourself? What have you as an individual gain from the past episode that you did, from the first episode you did with Mr. Motlat to this episode, and Black Souls and Provoking Thoughts and everything that you've been through? Can you take us through that?
Okay. Wow, that's an interesting question. For me personally, going back to where we started, especially with the podcast from the first episode that we did, where there was a lot of uncertainty. To start something, you're not sure if you're gonna succeed, or what might go wrong. And for me personally, I would say one thing that has been very interesting about Black Souls podcast mainly is the experience. You get to talk to different people with different personalities, different characters, and as you listen to people share their stories, this is where I started, this is what I've been through, this is where I am. This is how my art form or whatever the subject came about. This is the steps it took me to get here. One in particular has got to be crossed when we traveled to God.
Yeah.
He shared his experiences from him as a poet, as a young poet, having to move from Kwakwa to Pretoria and then realizing, okay, this is what I can take from Pretoria, go utilize it for us. You know, improve the lives of guys. So for me, the experience is that people's stories. People have a lot to share, and as an individual, you can actually pick from that. And so I would say that has been the greatest thing. Experiencing new things, different personalities, different environment, because we have shot almost in different locations.
Yeah.
So that is also an experience. Because now when you go to Newtown, you have to meet these people that you never met before. Now you interact and then you learn.
Yeah.
And having being around the same space, this is gentleman right here. Every day you get to learn something from him. I'm not saying this because he's my friend, but every day you get to learn something from him. This is how we do things. This is how we do things. So I would say it has been new experiences and picking all the things that we learn from all different people, take them, and then implementing them into my life.
Yeah.
For me, it has been learning the art of journalism. Because journalism it's a work of its own. Art of journalism in terms of work of like how to pose question, how to make a conversation going, when to interject, all those things is something that we are growing, and which questions should you pose. And when we invite people, something that we do is we try to make a research so that we understand that particular person or because that's the advantage of Kobanyali research you can meet that person halfway. And the interesting part that person will be able to say, okay, you noticed that about this particular thing, then yes, she or he is fulfilled. So in terms of traveling, I remember Nerelo Blumu, OCB, renowned businesswoman. She has multiple awards, and the stories are her house mamela. Like, okay, now I need to take the girl child to work. Let's redirect the focus into let's leave the cosmetic, the beauty, the Western lifestyle, and whatsoever. Let's focus on something that is going to build the better girls in the society. All these girls are going to be women, going to be people's wife. So no less, my contribution to that is to give the insight, to share as much as possible. So that alone on its own is to say, Haiti live more third world, 121st century, so everything has advanced. There's so many things that are updated. So what I'm taking from my experience and what can I give? So just the one particular example I can give out. You made Tembile, very reserved, very renowned musician, and a learner from the experience in the music industry. It gives a certain insight and a learner the purpose. You know what? I'm an artist. I have to give my art, and at the expense of giving my art, the learner they cover the in terms of family. There are certain boundaries in the I need to redirect my values and where I can really reshape the formula on how can I build my man, how do I become a husband, and I check about Nubia and a little person, the family laws, like there's a lot that you try to balance. And when as a person, what do I incorporate from those that have had a pleasure, so I'm trying everything on most things like no Sutumandlo. She has shot something and she's busy blind. And that Sutumandlo was shot by this man who's behind the scene. So it was interesting, and it's someone whom came recommended by Kamat, and Sutumandlo is one of my friends now.
Yeah.
Because we get to share beyond the spaces. It's a podcast, which is doing very well. We get to share ideas and whatsoever. Oh, mabon, hey, mon, mabon. So it's because now nari interview about who's now becoming part of the family.
Yeah.
So that's one of the interesting things to the travel to meeting different people, having certain perspective, different perspective. And what I've learned, we are respected.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very
So
much.
the way we put out the energy or we put out it comes back.
Yeah.
So the question I give is then, do you attract who you are or does the opposite? So I'm trying to find the baseline there. So that's pretty much about the question that you've asked. I hope I answered.
Yeah. I know. I have a follow-up question. You guys have brought in provoking thoughts, you know, and I remember I received a call one day. It's like, man, there's this proposal on the table. Me and I saying we were having conversation. We wanna do this thing. At the time there was no topic for it. You know, we didn't have a title for it at the time. But you laid out a plan of this is how we want to do this. And as time goes by, we end up having Black Souls underwritten by provoking thoughts underwritten by Black Souls. I think take us through that time where you and Mekazi sat down and say, you know, right now we want to put in provoking thoughts into Black Souls. And some people would say provoking thoughts and Black Souls is the same thing. Why do we have provoking thoughts and Black Souls?
Okay. Provoking thoughts. It's funny how provoking thoughts came about. I met one of our beautiful sisters who's also part of provoking thoughts.
Karabo.
No.
Before Karabo.
Okay, before Karabo. That was actually part of the podcast section. So we first had Karabo. Before Karabo, your question
on the episode.
Yeah, before Karabo, the whole provoking thoughts. I wanna talk about Karabo since you mentioned it.
Yeah.
So when the Democrat comes and say, I have this beautiful person who's that we need to work with, you know, and we shoot the fourth episode. From that moment, the energy you were already seeing, like, Karabo, she's gotta be there. And now Karabo was here. So I met one lady who was by the name of Yenziwe, who I told her before.
Yeah.
She came with this idea. This is what I'm seeing on the net. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing. And I literally picked up the conversation. There is this person. You know, the same way on how Karabo word became to be part of us. Same way. Here's this person. I think she might be planned. You know. And now I met Uzienzi where we introduced the democracy. That's how provoking thoughts was born.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, provoking thoughts the product than the Democrats. I would say he's the founder of provoking thoughts, if that is the correct word to use. Because now I met Yenziwe, she's somebody that you can work with. The Democrats had an idea, and then she's
yeah.
Thanks for that. You know, being a social person, or I think I have a gift of noticing people's strength and being able to place people. So when I that conversation, like, okay, what another layer? Okay. Black Souls is the company. Let's take it like each and every shop right, whatever. There is different aisles, different items.
Right.
Black Souls is shop right, and dairy other channels. So it was like, okay, let's not just be a podcast. Podcasting is the page, but what we have daily. What we have more the product in selling for Regisa, Mabese and whatnot. So okay, let's table this thing in that format, but you're not gonna be the face of everything.
Right.
So not Mabona. So let's give others people a chance. But a little more knowledgeable in the city. Now we are about a focal. So that's when loop do in. Like this could be interesting because Zebo is multi-talented, multi-gifted. He can talk every most
Yes.
You're gonna talk the politics. I'm very limited. Zebo can talk. So let's talk about the movies, Kebabo. So let's invite this all of energies, the different that make one thing. So that's how came about it. Likely all those people actually the invite, and so far we shot about 4 episodes provoking thoughts, which soon to be uploaded. So we cannot wait for people to see these beautiful minds that interject, that collide, and it's been a wonderful.
Anything to add before I jump
Yes,
in?
I have one. I have something.
Because I think you anticipated to say something.
Yes, and it's a question to you.
Okay.
How did you become, from perspective, I saying Linda, we understand, we identified energy, this is gonna work. That democracy identified the concept, this is how it's gonna work. How did you become part of provoking thoughts? And since the democracy has mentioned that we've already shot 4 episodes, 2 questions. How did you become part of the provoking thoughts? What is not me and Tatematati answer it.
How do you answer it? Look, Buffett, honestly speaking, when I got a call, I didn't know where I was leading, where I was leading myself, and I just go with the flow. I got a call from Mutati saying, look, man, we have Black Souls, and I've already watched like 4 episodes of Black Souls, which were great episodes, And I remember each and every episode that I watched. I either called you or Mutati and say, Fitch, pick up, you have done a great job, I pick up and learn this and this and this from the conversation you had with whoever, So when I had a call from Mutati saying, look, man, we have this concept. Like I'm saying, at that time we did not have a name for it, right? And we had this concept, and mind you, there are a lot of people that we need to put in. I'm not just the only one. Arab is not just the only one. NZW is not just the only one. There are a lot of people that we want to put. Wahayim, in we had a discussion between both of you. So when I accepted the invite, I didn't know what I was leading myself. I didn't know what I was going to do. I never hosted any episode, whether being a podcast or any show in my life. I never been interacted with any of these settings, and I was like skeptical. That's to say the least. I was skeptical, but knowing myself and my confidence, and knowing that the people that invited me, they have that same confidence that I have myself. So I was like, there are a lot of things to talk about. There are really a lot of things to talk about. We have shot so many episodes, and I don't think we're even a quarter away from where we want to be. There are a lot of things to shoot. So when I agree, I knew that maybe there's something that this guy has seen that I can bring on the table. And what is a provoking thought? Not from your perspective. From my perspective, the provoking thoughts, I remember the first explanation I gave was, we want to bring those topics that people are free to discuss. We want to challenge young people's minds. Because we are living in the way my boy usually say it, the way I usually say it is, we are living in a matrix world where everything is controlled by the media. Whatever media says, it's whatever we go say, it's whatever we believe. And we grew up in a world where there was a media, but media did not control our life. We had things in mind, So, to me, provoking thoughts has brought that old scenario of thinking in mind, where you, instead of you as friends sitting level 7 looking at the phone, you talk as friends. And I think this platform is there. Let's talk, guys, and let's talk about the things that people are afraid to talk about. Because now, I don't want to dwell into this topic. It's coming. We have politics, and there are a lot of things that to talk about in politics. From our presidency to our coalition governments to the past elections. There are a lot of things to talk about. People are afraid to say what they think is right and what should be right. So what I think is a provoking thoughts, and it's a great book. It's a very great topic. I can't even remember who came with it. But we were playing around, I remember, in a group. And my interpretation of provoking thoughts is we are provoking people's mind, young people's mind. We are provoking them to think, because we can't live in a society where people will be told, this is the time for you to go and eat. You need to know when you are hungry and go and eat. This is the time for you to go to the toilet. You need to know when you have too much, because your body is the one that tells you there's too much toxicity in your system. You need to think about it. You get what I'm saying? So we need to live that matrix world that Karabo always talk about. That we need to have an access to our own mind, to our own decisions. That's what I think overthinking thought is. And I'm great to be part of this overthinking thought.
Based on your response, your definition is already interesting. Do you want to like maybe 3 subjects or 4? Because you guys have already shot points.
4, yeah.
Give us, or maybe whatever that is, so they get the idea of what. Maybe 3, 4.
Yeah. There's one that we shot called "Women Must" or "Men Must." Sorry, "Men Must." Gender roles. It was based on. I wanted to say it in a concept where everybody. But the name of the episode was gender roles, which in our not African, traditional street language we call it a "man must." And I had 2 beautiful women whom I thought I was gonna be, because I was the host, and I had these 2 beautiful women whom I thought I was gonna be interrogated. Only to find out that these are the women that understand the men's position in the society and the women's position in the society. And I remember one of the episodes, I just forgot the name of the episode, you forgive me guys, where we talk about you have a good memory, where we talk about cultures and beliefs. Was it traditional cultures and beliefs
in a modern day society?
In a modern day society. Like you said, we put in Karabo, who's more diversified in cultural beliefs and cultural practice, and I gotta say, it's one of the lessons that we have learned a lot when it comes to culture, and that's one topic that people are afraid to talk about. That's one topic that people are afraid to talk about. Our cultural belief has sidelined by the West belief. We believe that in order for me to get married, I need to have a white wedding. That's one of the topics that was in the episode. And our cultural belief was sidelined. I remember when I was explaining that actually our cultural belief was never demolished, never destroyed it, but we just incorporated the Western belief in it. Where instead of doing a white wedding, we decided we can do 2 weddings in one day. That's why we have traditional wedding and a white wedding. And the recent one that we shot, I think, is the 4th episode where we discussed the family.
Family toxicity.
Family toxicity. Family things. When you have a good memory, So family toxicity, where we discussed that we have the families that they love you or they like you when you have something to give on the table. And there's a song I'm talking about. There's a song that I remember by the ladies, is a country singer, Dolly Parton. The name of the song is "A Family." There's a song that starts and says, when it's family, you do not do what you do to your enemies. And then that's why you say some are pastors, some are gay, some are lesbian, some are traffickers. But at the end, they're still your family. And on that, there's a phrase that says, family comes above anything else. You get what I'm saying? So even though what the angle that we were shot in this wing was to understand that even though our family are toxic, they are part of our life. That's why we're saying you can choose your friends, but you can never choose your family. I can never say I don't like my mother's son. One, it came feeling the toilet. I don't well, because now naturally, if you say organically, naturally, you are bound to be part of this person's life.
Wow.
You know, I based on what you have just said now, I think the world needs to watch, the provoking thoughts. Like you mentioned in your description, or it's things that we don't talk about. I think majority of the people they would have an input or they would relate to family toxicity.
Yeah.
You know, you also mentioned Myanmar's. Those are subjects that they are not addressed that much. I think people really need to be on the lookout for provoking thoughts.
Yeah. I cannot wait for those episodes to get off or to get out. So internally, we're still searching for people who are good at editing, because that type of setting is gonna be more on a, like a talk show type of settings. So internally we're still looking for those designers, still looking for those editors, we're still looking for those videographers, because the content is already available. So the reason why there is that delay is just dealing with that technical matter. But as soon as that technical matter is been sorted out, they will be out. They will be out. There's a beautiful insights, there's beautiful conversation, there's beautiful knowledge from which I don't think I'm amazing, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know this. And you know the beautiful thing over there. Several mentions like, which country is this? Cote d'Ivoire. Is it Cote d'Ivoire? How did you know this?
The one that was created by not Cote d'Ivoire. I think it's Burkina Faso.
And all of those things. So I get to say, wow, man, I'm always amazed at how much this information is getting out. Like this collective of people who are just sing. They just sing. Like, everyone is just it's like a relay. The relay marathon. It's like, wow, was like, okay, no, you reminded me about this. You reminded me about this. Why will I remember what? Like, it gets beautiful. So provoking thoughts is that whereby we challenging people's mind, then we bring this information, and now it's just a catapult and bring it to
the people.
You know that are you sharp now at provoking thoughts, because there's a thought that just provoked my mind now. I want to go back to Black Souls. You just mentioned now one of the reasons the provoking thoughts is not out yet. It's technicalities and all of those things, the editing part, and making sure. We have, like the type I mentioned, your memory is good. How many episodes have you published of
for podcast?
50. So my question
that's the ones that are online right now.
My question is, I remember when we did our first episode, going back to Black Souls podcast. And right now, you just mentioned the technicalities, the editing. Do you want to take us, or maybe, you want to take us the process from episode 1? Because we've never really known much. We've always seen the beautiful work that you do online, like that's Apache, and who also mentioned that people are appreciating the work that you have done.
We have that.
Okay.
Let's call it.
How has the process been like? I mean, you gave birth to the first episode, and now you're on 16, and you already have provoking thoughts already done, and I've got a feeling that there's more that's coming. But now, how has it been for you, this journey from episode 1 to 16? What challenges have you met? What victories are there for you to celebrate? Where are you headed? Or where are we?
I have to acknowledge, remember when I started saying it's a transformational phase. All these ideas they've been in my head for, let's say, over 4 years. Like, you are the guys, the champions, so we talk a lot. So it's been like that. So they say God will place you where you should be.
Yes.
And what happened is I met a gentleman by the name of HB Zwino SA, who's a host or he's a radio presenter for the online radio station, Tshigubu. So when I met this gentleman, he kinda like kept me in. Like, no, I do the same thing. Like really. So I just looked at him more than he started showing me for this is how it's done, this is how it's done. So it's not me, it's God, it's the sisters, whoever, the higher power you subside to you give subscriptions to. So the higher power gives subscription to me, Zwino, who has been like a very remarkable person.
Yes.
For this is how it's done, this is how it's done. So from the knowledge that he had, I had to operate it. So that's it's not me, it's the person of needed. So it has been very, very remarkable. So the challenges were like, okay, no lassie, what do we need? I go back to the source. What do I need? Only that mic. What do we need? We need this. Oh, need a sound card. Okay, this is how you program a sound card. Okay, from now, this is the startup key. So it has been gradually getting better. So Zwino is the person, he's my source whenever I need about to know all about this technical stuff, about the editing, this is how you do it, this is how you channel it. So now personally, that's the only person so far who has been like very instrumental. The second person has been instrumental is Richard Technique as well. Okay, now man, Richard Technique, man. So he has been like, okay, he's the award-winning filmmaker. So producer and whatsoever. So obviously this is his work. So he's another person that I put now what can I do better from here? How can we improve the standard in terms of like the logistics is on my shoot and whatsoever. So in terms of that, so these were my sources and there are my sources. And yourself as well, like you mama with the camera so a better and whatsoever. So that's been there. And what was the thing?
Okay.
You talk too much, you forget the question.
Because it was like the 15. So the first episode we gonna reshoot with the little that we have. Still bubbly reshoot what? So it's like that's in Soweto. So it's a child, man. So from then second episode analysis recommended by Kamata. That's a beautiful. The third one we had a guitarist, a songwriter, logo sued restaurant. So then Nabataka the story and how he made music, why he calls himself logo, and whatsoever it was. The fourth episode, which is one of the sisters we have, a family member, African spirituality, all of this colonialism. Then the fifth episode, I believe in a Leo scheme from the business perspective now. Business, mindset on a life story. The sixth, I believe in a lithos. The Kwapanda movement, the youth, they're doing a crazy thing. So, a mindset for now, I need to tap into my leadership. So it was more in the leadership.
Organic growth of food,
all of those things, man. It's amazing. Then the seventh week, we go back and see the house at the dance. Then for now we do this, like this is what it means. It was very interesting. And at this moment, Oko take isn't take doing dancing take.
Wow!
Yeah, man. It's like, man, you go take, So
he wrote. You know what was interesting? Sorry to enjoy. You know what was interesting for me about that episode?
Yeah.
He wrote a whole production alone.
That's that.
Wow.
A whole dancing production alone.
Multiple.
He even he created it. He directed it alone.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That's not creativity. That's beyond creativity.
Yeah.
That's great. I didn't want to get but I just wanted to say that was one of the interesting things. That I picked up from Black Souls. So that was great, man.
Nah, thank you very much. So it's another sorry. Our mind. Okay, now this our
Mm.
whether we contributed positively or negatively,
Yeah.
but is someone in history because he has a good mind. He remembers. He remembers like
I
he
remember, yeah.
like yo, this was like a 20. Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, the clarity in his mind, like it was
He
amazing.
has a
So
good
you wanted to
memory.
say?
I wanted to say, it's interesting that you mentioned this, and shout out to Hauser because
Yeah.
you mentioned now Sutu Mandlozi is doing beautiful.
Yeah.
Eh? That's one of the guests we had. Luke,
Mm.
who we had in episode 4, he has a show.
Yeah.
He has a show in July
Okay.
in Newtown, I think. I saw them.
Mm.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, now almost everybody that we have worked with,
Mm.
they are still on the journey.
Of the marvelous
Exactly.
things. Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. Then the third, 17th in the house at the 8th. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That man is a caveman, man. He's a caveman. And I want to say it. Things about Tembile being a caveman. What I mean, Kone, he's very selective on who he interacts with.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of media about Tembile.
Mm.
And Tembile has been like off scene for 2, 3
wow.
years for a
Oh, wow.
while in Ghana.
Oh, wow.
For him to say, "Hey guys, come through.
Yeah.
I'm available." So we felt very honored. Well,
Yeah.
this caveman is able to say, "Yo guys, come through."
Come through.
And now start the freestyle Monday,
Yeah.
so like doing amazing. So we can't wabona, yeah, wabona. So yeah.
Yo. Said it out. Guys, give it up to Tembile.
Mine, I believe that
After Timbile, it was. No, it wasn't poison.
after 9. No less. Okay.
That's
Okay, let's we'll come back.
Then episode 10. 9 is Bring Mazibu.
Oh, the
No, Bring Kiki and the businessman.
Mm.
Now we have a businessman. We have a like-minded person, someone who's very honest, someone who reads a lot, someone who's very peculiar on the people we choose to interact with. Like he reads people's energy. Like you know what, I cannot do things with this person. Lenny is also a caveman.
Yeah.
Because he's very selective. And for him to just jump in, well, Mr. Muluti more about the various topics you have on your private life, yourself private. You don't have to shave. You don't have to do what. So it was mind blowing. And he was also involved in the technical part of it. This was right. So he's a person about an image on that. Then episode 10, Reloko Bluefontaine, Mr. Molale Shupi. Who's is it of number 9 of which was Bring Mazibu. Now number 10 in the Mr. Molale Shupi, who's a museum research, some museum research, what was specialist or something like that.
Yeah.
Sorry if I'm butchering your title, Mr. Molale. Apologies for that. So, the establishment Sesotho Museum in Free State, which is based to go Bloemfontein. So the establishment Sesotho was to keep our heritage intact because Free State is mostly Waso. Like 64 more episode like 64% is a Sesotho spoken language. So how do we preserve this? Because we don't have the campfire, because the world has revolved that much. So how keeping it the history, keeping it the buka, all the cultural traditions and all of that. So on a cover that in your aspect here, which is amazing episode. Amazing episode. And it was conducted by Sesotho so that we can contribute to the language,
the
topic itself as well.
I think just give a brief reminder of you can still check that episode. Episode 11. Souls on YouTube. Episode 10 if you wanna know more about Switch and how do you preserve it, where it comes from, the history, where it's headed, why the Sotho language, all that information is on episode
10.
10, yeah.
Yeah, the should be the episode 11. Short go with Atabi.
Mm.
New establishment. Pariki
Yeah.
Kawashi. So it's buddy. It's very good. Whereby originally two lyricists, Nubian King and Poison Mind,
Yeah.
amazing human beings,
Yeah.
amazing human beings. Whereby on that particular episode, Banabuaka, what happens when they lost some of the family members. And certain dichotomy about characteristics that what we Poison o bona di-characteristics tse mo ngwaneng wa gagwe mo
Yeah.
naledi and Nubia ene o itse mamage he lost his mom about a year ago. Mamage o bua le ene through girlfriend ya gagwe.
I remember.
It's like that's spiritual channel.
Yeah.
And you lost your mom. That's
Yeah,
how
it's
it relate.
Yeah,
could relate to the people. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So it was beautiful, man. So episode 12, figure Mayela Black, Phenomenon Stress, has been part of 3 stages. Clash of the Choirs.
Yeah.
Nabuale Sakayev, wabone she was young, 19, ba kry funding from Sakayev, le group you know, not knowing how to manage money, but then at least you know, only a bit of financial literacy because right, but the society in the Karason, it was like, oh, let's flash, let's show people that hey, we made it, we made it. So they had like 100,000. So what she learned from that experience and how she moves in from now on, it was a beautiful conversation
Yeah.
of which she hosted with. And episode 13, it is interesting one. I had an elder that did city so the one. It's like
Yeah.
one opposite one road, ne? So you got some more that did city so the one is one of the people alone. You know, growing up, but when I go to Kuranda blind, so waiting, anybody what, then we'll sit about fold up Kuranda Bible. Then I was also interested in that. Like, yo, balam, balam. Then I will make him go like a badly. Then I have a banganya grammar, I can banganya phone. Okay, this is a surface area information. But that is actually meant in this. I was like 10, 11 years. So the fond of reading, Leno contributed.
Yeah.
And how we shot that it was like, the densities, how do should the like you didn't know as a but probably history of Blofan stress. I tried to go for your last then how started the conversation because the apartheid system in a better for these reasons. Then it took then I was like, you know what, from this elder, I'm not gonna interrupt him. I just want him let him flourish. I wanna work the economy, corruption,
Yeah.
how do we get to vote? Why are the votes rigged and whatsoever? Like, I'm like, yo, wrong bill in this so like, not like that historical background, yeah, specifically proven there. But in the Amanali, how generally things are in the world, and that is the one of the most leading episode in terms of Wiashi.
Wow.
Like, yo, elder man, like I think it's almost 900 now. Last time I checked, because we get
900 views.
900 views, because we get like lesser. So it's interesting. It's just relaxed speaking. Obona no less how it look as like yama. Waka mona na yung mona so it was very interesting. That was episode 13. 14 a musician Bakari music about how he started. But mostly the benefits on the youth clubs. We are part of the youth clubs. Youth clubs remember when I go in the Rebrocha of the gangsters to influence the drugs and whatsoever. So the youth clubs they kept them sane, kept them because one thing that I've learned to go to the youth club and give respect. How to conduct yourself, how to respect other people. Now, all that those fabrics they kill them or and as a part of Wakanda, because Wakanda is led by most of the people who are from Batla, or most artists for they were developed so they were able to be identified the talented from a younger age. Wabona. So it was interesting. It was interesting. And the 15, which is now literally no, Levi, who's the battle rapper. It's one of the elite pen. So he's one of the people who is really, really, really crazy. It's crazy, man. I wanna because he's gifted. And how Vike got in, Clocks, man. Clocks is just what people love.
Yeah.
I know Brink is a friend of mine, of which Lene jumped in. And there's the first time he got on a Bacardi, the first time he got on a Vike. The conversation. I know preacher from the poetry sessions. So Vike is like, yeah, I noticed this thing. I know he's a battle rapper.
Yeah.
I have 10% information about battle rap. Then we took it from there. Then answerable when the time who inspired him into like writing, the time he mentioned the proverb, then I remembered the verse of proverb. Now then it just synced in and proverb saw that episode.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. So shout out to Ndadete Kisho, man. He saw that. It's like much love and respect. So that on its own, it shows for an we are able to reach the necessary people that needs to get this information. So yeah. Other cities that they should Khotso is one of the best singers at opera. So Ribaga opera mostly for guide challenges in that industry. So you're gonna see it soon. Picture technique in a recover like film making. No, like I feel like very heads up. And the other two, the Raboli, the herbalist. Take us to that because I have no idea what's going on over there.
No, I don't really because I don't know if the numbers. Yeah, Karabo, who's that gentleman? Who's the herbalist? Who teaches about he shares about the importance of food, what food does to our system, you know. And the very same gentleman was a monk. Like he went, it's on the monastery or whatever.
Yeah,
he went there, and which is interesting because you don't find a lot of black
what's his name?
monks. Kulu.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no. Kulu Mamang. I think I just put it there.
Yeah.
When it alive and revisited it up until maybe the editing part. But it's a very beautiful conversation, especially how he talks about food. Mainly, it was like what role food plays in our digestive system. A very interesting gentleman from Pumalanga, and he's a king. He's a king. He's from royalty.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that. And what also still has to come. It's an episode that we did for Tabato, where we are sharing like the real name is that. So that is very beautiful and an interesting episode because he spent most of his life in jail.
Yeah, incarcerated.
Yeah. So now from from this specific episode, he shares on how all began, what happened, and how he ended up there, the use of utilization of drugs, and what happens or what he sees on a daily basis. And sharing all these experiences, Tahai, through incarceration, whatever. So yeah, so those are the two that we still have to. So yeah.
Yeah.